The Joberg2C mountain bike marathon is one of the biggest and most popular mountain biking events on the calendar. The slogan is Ride Our Beloved Country, and riding from Heidelberg in Gauteng all the way to Scottsboro in KZN makes for one of the most amazing experiences that you will ever have on your mountain bike. So yesterday, the organizers sent out an email and announced that this year, 2022, will be the last Joberg2C ever. And I know not only myself, but a lot of mountain bikers all over the world are absolutely devastated by the news. So I had the opportunity to speak to Craig Wapnick about this decision and also about the event this year and going forward from here on. This episode is sponsored by Hammond Paul Attorneys. They are a law firm with head offices in the East Rand, and they're specializing in conveyancing and also litigation. Thanks, Hammond Paul. Okay, so hello Craig and welcome to Nuuspod.
Dankie Teresa.
Ja, ek het besluit ek gaan jou uitspaar vandag en ons hoef dit nie in Afrikaans te doen nie. Hoewel ek weet jou Afrikaans is baie goed.
Dit was nie nou nie.
But welcome anyway. It's really a great privilege for me to be able to speak to you. You're all the way from the UK, hey? Speaking from there at the moment. So, yeah.
Yeah, Teresa, we've moved to the UK. We in the hub of mountain biking Mecca in the place called the Peak District, which is near Manchester, and it's amazing. It's beautiful and just an opportunity for the kids to ride their bikes and just great. Yeah.
Craig, I think we should just have to start with the reason why I actually wanted to speak to you today. I've got the devastating news, and not only me, but also the entire mountain bike community of the world got this email yesterday saying and announcing that this year will be the last Joberg2C. And everybody was like, no, this can't be. This is like the end of, it's like the death of a good friend or family member.
Sure. Yeah. So I don't see it that way at all, but I mean, because we've been so close to it for so long and we've sort of seen how it's evolved and we've seen how much effort people have put into it and how COVID kind of stopped that in its tracks. And we've seen families evolve and change, you know, and people become granddads. And I'll explain more about that, and how life changes just make things, you know, a bit more difficult to put on an event the way that you would like to put it on, as opposed to just hanging in there, doing it for the sake of it. Okay, and you know, I think it came to a point where quite maturely, actually, quite nicely, we're going to end on a very big high because we're a sold out event. We're full up. You know, people would say, well, you might stop when things are going badly. Actually, it was not true. You know, we really want to end on a high because of various reasons, and it's because of that, and because of that decision. It's like when you make a decision, sometimes it's the most liberating feeling. You just want to make it the best and end on a high, and not dwell too much on the sadness of it, but more on how wonderful it has been and how much joy we can have this year to celebrate riding again. I think that's our main goal.
Sure. Okay. Well, that's a mouthful. But yeah, this year is the 11th year of the Joberg2C, eh? Yeah. Great, but I think, okay, a lot of people know the story and the history of the race, but I know many people will be watching this and won't know about it. So let's just go back a little bit and tell people about Joberg2C. I mean, I can go on for hours and get lyrical about the event. But how did it all start, and what is Joberg2C all about?
Okay, so Farmer Glenn, who's obviously famous for starting Sani2C, we became good friends during the time before he started Sani2C, when a bunch of strange characters from Johannesburg called Swamp Dogs used to go and ride the Sani2C dry runs with him. And we kind of were his guinea pigs on the bike to see what the route was like and give him feedback. And that was because of a mutual friend. And one of the Swamp Dogs was a friend of his. And we all became friends. And I was working in Johannesburg, and Glenn started Sani, and Sani became quite successful quite quickly. And it's always been his dream to ride from Joburg to the sea. And he called me the one day, and when he realized that I'd sold out of my business in Joburg, he called me and he said, Wapo, come, let's do Joberg2C. Or it wasn't called Joberg2C at that stage. We had to come up with a name and that, but basically we said we're going to ride from Joburg to the sea. Yeah. And it wasn't going to be an extension of Sani2C, it was just going to be a new thing that we're going to do. And I was going to be involved in that. And it's a long way, as you know, you've ridden it yourself. So we needed the support in the middle ground. So Glenn said, well, let's talk to Gary Green, Farmer Gary, who runs Bergen Bush. And they have a lot of experience, and Gary his event was growing and becoming better and better every year. And we said, let's talk to Gary. And we had a meeting in a coffee shop in Joburg, Fornos, in Dunkeld, give them a bit of a credit. And we said, Gary, we've got this idea to ride our bikes from Joburg to the sea as an event. Are you in? And he just looked up at us. He hardly knew us, and he said, I'm in. And that was it. That was the story. And in the August of 2009, we said we're doing Joberg2C. And I, as an advertising kind of guy, thought, okay, well, that means we're going to start riding into 2011. They said, no, we're doing it now in April. So farmers make things happen. So we did it. And we just got stuck in and spoke to all the schools in the Free State and used the same kind of community model that Sani had developed, where you pay the communities to host the villages, which has always been the magic of Joberg2C, because the schools use it to raise funds. And then that just happened, and we just got stuck in, and I just went and dug deep for routes up in the Free State and make sure that we have like routes. And in the beginning we took a bit of flack for a few bumpy routes and stuff, but it's evolved, So yeah, that's the quick way that it started, Teresa.
Yeah, and Wapo, I can vouch for it. I mean, I didn't even realize it, but I've done 5 Joberg2Cs. Wow. And yeah, it's so difficult to describe the entire event, just the vibe and the scenery. It's really an awesome event. And all the different cultures and communities that you cross and see along the ride. Yeah, no, it's really something special. But Wapo, funny enough, I came across one of these memes this morning, and it made me smile so wide, because it said, I wanted to read it to you. Being an event manager is easy. It's like riding a bike, except the bike is on fire. You're on fire. Everything is on fire, and you're in hell.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because honestly, I've been to events and I totally agree. When you see the event organizers and they've got that glazed look where they can hardly focus on people, they're panicking, they're in panic mode. Okay, but in all 11 years, I think bar a few moments within those kind of situations, because of the team that we've been surrounded by, the schools, the communities, the people, the passion, I've never ever felt like that. It's been I would say that to say that you're not nervous going into the event to make sure that it's a success is an absolute lie. You've got to be nervous. You have to be a bit anxious that it's going to work out, otherwise you don't care. But I think all of us, we really are facilitators more than event managers. We facilitate every village making a success of the event, which is the best part about it. In other words, we don't have an event company that runs every day the same. where something could go wrong with that event company or people get tired. No one gets tired at Joberg2C because every day is new people. They're fresh. They're dying to make sure that they showcase South African hospitality in the best way possible. And that has been the charm and the beauty of Joberg2C. And, I think that's what when Joberg2C is done, one of the things that this year is I'm not done with South Africa by any means in terms of mountain biking and those communities. So, we're not going to undermine this year's Joberg2C and talk about anything in the future right now, but that passion is still going to be, it's an exportable, marketable thing to the globe, plus to South Africans. And we're going to, I want to continue it myself because I think that it's vital. It's vital for the Free State and those kind of parts of the world that things continue because it's just part of who we are, and it's just beautiful.
I'm so happy that you say that because I know you were mountain biking before anybody else had a mountain bike or knew what a mountain bike looks like. And I think there's not many people knowing the trails and the heart of a mountain biker as well as you do. So I'm really happy to hear that, Wapo. But listen, surely there must have been like crises and funny stuff happening in the past 11 years, the stuff behind the scenes that we didn't know about.
Oh, plenty of those little moments, shower water not working, not hot enough, or at some point, and then you got to make plans, and having two farmer partners who are exceptional human beings is probably one of the best combinations. You got a sort of marketing, advertising kind of person who's absolutely passionate about the land, but that's in concept. Okay, you've got real farmers who are hands-on and can fix plumbing and do all sorts of things, and it's quite amazing how hands-on our team was. And then you've got spouses, and when I say equals, who add more on the business side. So and just make sure that the whole unit that travels is basically capable of dealing with some of those crises. But there's been some moments. I'm trying to think as you talk of some of them, but it'll probably come to me. But it's just little things that I think the biggest thing for us has always been safety and stuff, and we've made sure that we've had fortunately, touch wood, we've had one or two serious accidents where we've had to get real kind of our sort of off-road rescue, who now have become SARSA. They have been amazing. They've joined us every year from Joberg2C, I think since the second year. And they've also made sure that those crises basically are taken care of in the most professional manner with ER24 and our team. And those kind of things are probably the only thing you really, really, truly stressed about. The rest is just solvable. You might get grumpy riders who just come at you a bit because they're not getting their things their way, but nothing compares to the rider safety. And I think once that's taken care of, you get this, okay, we've got a great team,
Yeah, they say there's nobody as difficult as a mountain biker with low blood sugar levels and you're a bit tired. I know, I've been there.
I took my boy out for his, it's not probably the most appropriate word, but as a cyclist, you know what it is. He had his first bonk. And it's not the right kind of bonk. He had his first massive cycling bonk the other day, and it was so funny to see. And he ran out of all these energy storages, and you just get So yeah.
Yeah, and you get that angry feeling. You just want to fight with somebody. So, but Wappa, you know what? For mountain bikers, I know we share a lot of fun moments, and there's. On an event like Joberg2C, there's lots of good food and nice people and privileges. The feeling I always get is I really feel privileged. But we sometimes forget about the bigger picture and the story that Joberg2C actually contributed a lot of money to the communities. I think in the past years, it's amount like 23 million rand. that was
35 million,
sure.
Teresa, to the communities, and they rely. So a lot of the schools don't get funding from the government, extra funding. They have to struggle to survive, and Joberg2C for most of our schools across the route have become their biggest fundraiser of the year, and that is why I'm continuing in some form, because for the schools up in the Free State and up to Harrismith and stuff, those schools are like that's some of their lifeblood now, to hire new teachers, to get new vans, to do whatever. Then we've got 24 water points where every year they make some really nice cash for their luck, whether it's a farmers association or a Rotary or Lions Club or a church group or whatever that is. They make some really good money out of it, just to help them, and it's some stuff they'd have to do a lot of faiths or something to get the equivalent. But also I think the big thing is the money is very important, hugely important, but it's how, and this is what I'm not saying, this is what I've been told, how it brings the community together. Because when I was in Johannesburg, sort of thinking about farming, I always thought the farming community was very close and tight-knit, but they actually live very, very far away from each other. So just popping over for a cup of coffee isn't something that happens like I thought it might do. You've got to really make an effort. So something like Joberg2C, where you brings all the farmers together and they do all the braaiing of the steaks, like at Frankfurt, and they keer and they have a few brandies and cokes and chat. It becomes like a big thing for people, and you can't buy that, you can't buy that passion. It's inherent in the people, and it's who they are, and that's what we've got to do. We've got to keep as South Africans, not just us, we've got to keep tapping into all angles of people in South Africa. We've got lots of like weird people running the country, but we need to tap into the people who live in the country.
Yeah, that's so true.
Listen,
the one thing I have to tell the people is the one, except for the amazing routes and trails, all the way to Scottsburg, the one thing that I will always remember about Joberg2C is the water point. I mean, your first, or was it, the first water point on day one, the one to Frank, no, it must be it's the second one, or I can't even remember, of the nursery school, serving condensed milk, marshmallows. I mean, you've got like sugar high for the rest of the day, and boerewors, and you just don't want to leave the water points, and so it continues for the rest of the event. I must say to you, Wappa, that was really something special, always.
Yeah, thanks, Teresa. I mean, that's the people. I mean, that's the people. We give them a list, and we give them, when I say a list, we give them a bit of motivation to say, here's the list, do what you feel like you need to do. We pay them, and they could do not the bare minimum, they wouldn't, but they go the extra mile on their own. They go and do that on their own. There's a tea station or cookie station basically at Frankfurt on day one, which Annelle, who runs it, doesn't need to do that. She doesn't need to do that, but she does it because that's the passion of Frankfurt people and her team, who want everyone to just be delighted. The word is actually a beautiful word. It's delighted. They want to delight people, and I think that's what we just love. We've loved it from day one, and it's just been amazing.
Yeah, well, I can say for a fact, many of those water points and stations, cookie stations, delighted me.
Lovely. I put on weight when I did, when all the riders come to me and they say they put on weight, and they do.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't think it's possible, but
exactly.
Sometimes it actually feels like you went to a wedding ceremony. It's like going to a wedding. You go to some of those places. Yeah, it's really
absolutely. No, it's crazy. Yeah.
But so this is the last Joberg2C, and a lot of things changed for you in the meantime. You moved to the UK. Was it because of COVID?
Look, so I think what happens in a period like COVID is you have a lag, a big lag, and people's lives change in COVID. So it wasn't specifically because of COVID, but I think COVID had a big part to play. You know, the event took big strain financially, not happening, trying to keep it going. So we all had to make some decisions and changes. My job was to grow Joberg2C, and I was paid by my partners to grow Joberg2C. It's a dream job, you know, but COVID really threw that into the, you know, stopped that, because we had to make sure that we looked after the event and kept it going. So you couldn't just, you know, take from it. So the main thing is that started the process of reflection, and then life changes, you know, and what happens is, what people don't realize is how much time Joberg2C takes away from life, or whatever you're doing in life. For me, it was fine, because that's what I did. That's my job. But when you're farming and you're becoming a granddad like Farmer Glenn is, and you've got beautiful, you know, reasons to stay at home that you need to honor, okay? Yeah. Whether it be farming and grandchildren coming and stuff, you've got to be honest, you know. And I think that's the challenge, you know. And to just do it for the sake of doing it is difficult. It's difficult, and so we have you know, and like I always say to people, you know, you can just hang in and everyone gets the same, or you make a wonderful decision to end on a high, and you stop. It's a great way to end. Yeah. And then I know it's sad for a lot of people, and there's a lot of repercussions, but in terms of, you know, the effect, but that's then the next job, is to say, well, how do we solve that and create something new or whatever, you know. But I think it's important to know that I think my main message is Joberg2C 2022 is going to be extra special, and our goal is to end on a high. Yeah. And I think that's what we've, as a group, have just said, listen, we've got such wonderful people, and we've got such good families that are just, you know, got different kind of paths now because of families growing and expanding and farming and stuff, that, you know, that's fine. It's okay. You know, it's part of life, you know, it has to happen sometimes.
So what are you doing in the UK now? What's your...
So I'm actually working on the World Squash Tour. I work for the World Squash Tour, which is an amazing... I used to be a professional squash player when I was in my youth, well, my 20s, and I'm working for, it's called the PSA, the Professional Squash Association, and it's the World Squash Tour, and I'm on their kind of new business development sales side. And yeah, so it's pretty exciting time. Also still in the sporting world, and we'll see what happens after Joberg2C in terms of the next steps, but we've got a great team in South Africa as well, so I'm still involved with that, and we'll see what transpires, Teresa. I mean, you person like yourself will be the first to know. You will, because of your passion for Joberg2C, and you know, but like I said, our goal is now just to zone in and make sure that 2022 is awesome, and we've got an awesome team in South Africa that are super passionate about making it a success.
And are you still riding your bike there?
Cheapers all the time. Love it. I think that's the thing, you know. There's so many different styles of riding, and there's, you know, I went from a very competitive sport like squash, where I had to play literally to win or lose. You know, you play for food, you play for your living. And when I went into mountain biking, I never wanted to be competitive. I wanted to see countries and see places on my bicycle and be fit enough to do that. And it's just the best. You know, you get on your bike and you just ride all over where you're living. You plot your GPS route and off you go, you know. And like, yes, you can go jumping and go and do bike parks, and you can do all sorts of other kinds of riding, but you can do lap circuits of a cross-country track. But ultimately, for me, just getting on the bike and riding and seeing countries and seeing places, new places, is just phenomenal. So we'll get you over here. We'll get you guys on a tour over here, okay? Because it's going to be the Peak District. The Peak District is like one of the meccas of riding. It's just, you just go on these amazing like passes and trails and stuff. So yeah, it's good.
I've got this on record now, so I'm
You've got it on
taking up on
record.
it. Greg, I know.
Joberg2C, England.
Yeah, yes, please. I know you're quite secretive about it, but you did mention a little something in your letter yesterday that you will be doing an event, starting your own event in the Free State. So
your own is a big word. It's not my, but and also I've got, I'm employed now with the PSA, so it will be a team that we put together that we'll do some stuff. But it's going to be a something that we'll develop after Joberg2C. We've got, because at the moment, like it's not even secretive. It's just about doing justice to Joberg2C, and I think that's our main thing. And there's a lot of prep work for Joberg2C that I don't want to detract anybody from, and even just the psychology of it all is just about this is what we do. We do Joberg2C, and even though this might be the last one, this must be the next best one.
Yeah. No, I get that. Listen, there was something I wanted to ask you now, and it just slipped my mind. How many riders will there be this year?
850.
Oh, so that's a lot, eh?
It's full. We can't listen. It's right on the edge of. It's beautiful, but we do have a obviously. I don't want to make this redundant, this interview, but ultimately we're just hoping that all foreigners, countries, can let them. Well, they'll be able to all ride, because we've got about 280 foreigners in the system. So we are saying to South Africans, just put your name on the waiting list in case, because you could pick up an entry, from the foreigners at some point if they can't make it. But it's looking better and better. We'll look back at this interview and go, how was that COVID phase? If Omicron had happened in 2 months' time, it would have been like another disaster. But it looks like actually this could be the saving grace, because people are starting to calm down a bit and settle and realize that actually, we can literally ride this out.
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to some normality again. And
I think that's it. I think our COVID team will be amazing. We've got a credible, obviously, medical support and making sure it's all sorted. But ultimately, people just want to ride their bikes. They're tired now. They're tired of like being trapped and sort of thinking, well, wait. They just want to get going. And it's the same for us. I think every single entrant of Joberg2C who were with us from 2020, who stayed in the system, just like, come on, guys, we just want to ride, and
just ride your bike. Listen, do you have a message for anybody who's doing their first, and obviously last Joberg2C this year? Do you have a message for them?
If anyone's doing the first and the last, they need to let us know. That's a very important point, because I think that's quite a nice hook for starters. If you're doing the first and the last, that'll be brilliant. No, you know what? We've never really differentiated between anyone doing it for their first time or their 10th time. We absolutely love the people coming back, like to doing it more, because they're like our ambassadors. But I think the main thing is, for us, it's the message is enjoy the journey, like enjoy the ride. The destination of the sea is nothing. That's yes, you can tick it off and have big hugs and photographs, but actually you need to savor every kilometer. It's not all easy. There's a lot of toil and times, because you've got to get places, and not every piece of route is imaginative with single track, and lots are, but some isn't. And just enjoy that freedom of riding your bicycle 900 kilometers across South Africa. That's my message. Don't rush it. Don't be frenetic. Don't overtrain. Don't get panicky. If possible this year, that's my message. Maybe is try not to race it.
Yeah.
Try and embrace it. Yeah.
Listen, I can tell anybody out there that if I can do it, surely they can do it too. And really, you're absolutely right. You know what? I've never, not even once, went back and looked at my times and looked what was my position during the event, because it's not important. What I what I remember now is all that awesome memories. My pictures that I've taken on the 4th day in the Drakensbergs. I mean, that's the moments. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, that's it. Race it. I'm sorry, embrace it, don't race it.
Yeah.
That's it. That'll be my wish. If everybody could just, I mean, you've got your racing snakes and stuff, but just slow down, engage with the communities, engage with yourself, basically. Get to know yourself a bit better. You know, if there's a lot of noise around you, ride on your own for a while.
Yeah.
You know.
And have a picnic at the water point. Like
correct. But make sure you train hard enough so that you're not in the village too late.
Yeah.
And that you can enjoy the villages. So, you know, that's the one good reason to be a bit fitter, is to make sure that you're in so that you can relax in the village in the afternoon, chill out, have a beer, whatever you feel like drinking, and then you're good for the next day. So, yeah, but you know that all, Teresa. You know that all.
Yeah, funny enough, before the previous Joberg2C that I did, you actually advised me to where you can go fast and win time and make up some time, do it. So
correct.
Yeah,
correct.
Don't hang around and fart us around, but still enjoy it. And,
correct. No, absolutely. You know, train your power to get a little bit quicker without putting any more effort in. I think that's the main thing, you know.
So it's crunch time now for all of us, eh?
Crunch time.
Wappa, I'm really looking forward to see you end of April. I can't wait. And yeah, all the best of luck. And thanks for making time to chat with me.
Teresa, thank you. And I really appreciate this interview, because it's also good for us to, you know, just to get it out, the message out, and also to just share with people that love riding bikes. You know, I think that's the key thing. We all love riding bikes, and there's going to be lots and lots of, you know, opportunity to do that, and we must enjoy every moment of it, because as you said earlier, for all of us people, you know, in context of the world, we are privileged to ride bikes, you know, and I think that's the message. Yeah. Good.
Absolutely. Thanks, Wappa, and see you soon, eh?
Okay, Teresa. Cheers, eh? Bye.
Yes, bye.
Nuuspod. Onbevange, onbegrens, onbevooroordeeld.